and we're here with our dear brother and sister, Chloe and Warren Archer. And it's just so great to have you guys here as a couple and to share your journey, how we met. And I'm going to give you both a little fun intro of Chloe, besides an incredible mother, a wife, a teacher, just sharing that you're going back to ASU for another degree. You're an artist, so you wear so many incredible hats, and I'll let you share that in a moment. And then, of course, Warren, father, husband, a pilot, an author of course, an incredible book. I have to give you a little prop, but his incredible book, I Think, Therefore I Lie, the Idle Message, or the Idle Method, or idle, I'm correct, tomato, tomato. And just truly our miraculous story of how we met. And so Chloe and Warren, this is the world. World, this is Chloe and Warren.
Hello, world.
Tell us a little bit, and however you both want to start, a little bit about your journeys and, how we met, how the intentions to impacted your life and your sons, and how you show up every day. So please, Warren, you can start, or Chloe, you can start, whatever is good for you guys.
You want to start, or should I?
Yeah, I don't mind. You go ahead if you want.
Okay, sure. So we met in September, I think it was, of last year.
Yes.
And we met in Scottsdale. And I didn't know what to expect because we met through a third person who I met over Facebook. Yes. And she was interested in having us all talk in Israel and in England, in your case. And so I wanted very much to meet you guys and see what you would be talking about. And I did not know about the Tree of Life movement at all at the time.
No.
We met and we connected immediately. And it was one of those things where I wouldn't even be able to finish a sentence, and Scott would finish it for me or something. Like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, and it was pretty awesome, And then we had the wonderful opportunity of meeting again in Israel and giving a talk there, in a wonderful meeting that we had there. It was very nice.
Pretty tough. It was nice.
It was very nice.
It was so beautiful. As we, prior to this call, Chloe was mentioning when you both with your son came to our office for the first time. I'm going to let you share in your words, Chloe, because I just love what you said. So kind of take us back a step.
Yeah, well, so when we met Warren, right away, Warren said, you need to meet my wife. You have to meet my wife. Can I bring her here to meet you? Mm-hmm. And that's when we had the honor of meeting you, Chloe, because Warren brought you to us, and you brought your son at that same time.
Yeah, we had Teddy with us, and I was just so surprised to see people that thought like me. And I'm like, oh my God, we found like soulmate friends.
Yes.
And especially the vibe and the friendliness. I wasn't expecting this warmth. We had a connection, we had a warmth, we didn't run out of subjects to talk about. The opposite, everybody wanted to say something at the same time. I remember it was just so, intense, and my son loved it, and he was really, really happy there. And well, he loved all your jewelry too.
Yeah, that's right.
He wanted to buy everything.
Very beautiful jewelry.
It was just a beautiful meeting. It was very surprising because I didn't expect it to be like that. When you meet people for the first time, it's usually a bit awkward, but it wasn't with you. It was just as if we'd known each other for so long. We just started talking right away and reconnected on many things, like on motherhood with you, and and having children, and the same way we raise children, and the same ideals, and it was just very, very sweet and very touching. I loved it. I loved meeting you guys.
Me too. And I think a key in what she says is neither of us had expectations, really. We didn't know what to expect, so we didn't expect. And that's usually when the most beautiful things in life arise, isn't it? When we have no expectations and things just come to us.
Exactly. When we open our hearts up and get out of our own way.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I can't say I had no expectations, but I didn't expect it to be so nice. I expected to be awkward. I did have expectations. Because when I meet somebody new, it's always awkward. And what I'm trying to say is that it was the opposite. It was flowing. It was nice. It was friendly. I have to be honest, I did expect awkwardness.
That's okay. And that's so beautiful. And thank you for sharing that, because you're right, Warren. I remember the first time we met, we were finishing each other's sentences.
We just hit it off,
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Chloe joined. You're right. It was like a celebration. The energy was off the charts, by the way.
We were having so much fun.
We were.
And we were all like talking over each other, which
Exactly. That's what I mean. There was so much to say that all four of us were talking at the same time. Oh, and this and this. And then we went off to the subject of kids, and then to the subject of, teaching, and this and that. And then I remember you said you were helping kids who teach other kids. And that, I remember that, because the only way to grow as a person is to teach another person. So I found that, that thought just stayed with me. And there were a lot of things that struck me as really, like, I don't know, maybe sweet is the word, but I don't want to use the word enlightened, but
you can if you want.
No, I don't want to use it because it's overused. But
because we didn't want the evening to end, we were having such a wonderful.
Let's say it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go back a step to Warren, because when Warren came, I want to have you explain your experience of course, the beautiful blessings we did when you received your intention stick, and maybe what words or intention you chose, and how it's kind of taken you on that path and what you've experienced.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is that what I said, it's so weird because I always wanted to get this master's in writing. I've been writing books since 2009. Of course, I never went to publish them, but one of them I tried and I got like a million rejections. And I'm like, okay, well, there weren't a million. There were, I know exactly how much they were. They were 12. And 12 for me were a lot. Oh, yes. So and then I wrote a second book, and I thought that second book would be better. But again, it started getting rejection after rejection, and they gave me some advice. So finally, I was thinking about maybe I should take some classes, because that wasn't my major. I was an art major and I was a psychology major. So maybe I don't know enough. And it was always my dream to take, to get that master's degree that I never got a chance to do because of the circumstances that changed back then. So finally, Warren said, yeah, you know what, we can budget for that. We can do it. And then, when I got the email that I got in ASU, because they take very few people. And I was so happy. I'm like, because I was wearing that. I was wearing the faith thing. And I remember, okay, have faith in yourself. Have faith in yourself. You will do this. And I did. And I felt so good when I got that acceptance letter. I felt so good. And I've learned.
Tell them how many people get accepted on that program.
Oh, 20. Out of thousands, they just accept 20.
Wow.
20 students, that's all.
So you chose faith,
Faith.
and look what showed up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know
That was the most amazing thing that happened to me in 2019. This is like the most amazing thing.
Chloe, you didn't share that with us. That's huge. Can you because people who are watching are probably wondering why you're not wearing your intention stick.
I lost it. I mean,
Well,
I didn't lose
we
it.
didn't lose it, but it's just, yeah.
It's, I'm very scatterbrained. I was wearing it 3 days ago and I put it somewhere and now God knows where it is. But I have been wearing it,
Yeah.
except for showers, of course, which I told you that I thought it would get wet because it has little pieces of paper in.
We all three of us have intention sticks, including
Teddy.
Teddy. He's now 8. He was 7 when he got his, and yeah, we all have it. But sometimes the weirdest things happen, and it was just today was one of them. And I think maybe the message there is that is to see that it's really. It's really, you don't have to see that we're wearing the intention stick to know that it actually did something for us. And it just, I think this is a special message in a way. And I wanted to, it's an opportunity for me to talk about intention, and because it's called an intention stick. And we're just having a conversation about that, about intention and attention. And so for those of you who do not know, I'm the founder of the I Think Therefore I Lie, or IDLE technique. And I've done about 10 or 12 radio programs about that all over the country. And I've written a book, I Think Therefore I Lie, on this. And it's basically to use what's beneficial to you at the moment, and not to so whatever thought it might be that you're having, to use it as a tool rather than being a tool subjugated by your own thoughts. And that's basically what the IDLE technique is about. But what I want to talk about is more about intention. So whether it's the IDLE technique, or it's Buddhism or Christianity or Judaism, or some technique, meditation, transcendental meditation, or the Tree of Life movement, which I didn't even know about until September. It's without the intention, the genuine intention to open up, to end your suffering, or open up to unconditional love. You're playing a game with yourself. Because it's not, and in my experience from some of the clients I've had, not all of them, but some of them around the world, want to tell themselves that they're taking the steps to end their suffering, but it's just a game that they're playing with themselves. And they're going through the motions, and then they're saying, well, this doesn't work, or I tried this and that and the other. And trying something is not the same as doing something. If your intention is not truly there, it's not going to work, because the intention brings attention, and that is what makes whatever you're doing, whether it's the IDLE technique or the Tree of Life movement, through the intention stick, which is a fantastic name in my view. I think it's perfect. And that will, that's what gives in the magic, you put your energy and your focus on that. And like what Maharishi used to say, Maharishi is the founder of the Transcendental Meditation Technique. What he used to say is, what you put your attention on grows. Right. And so it's the Tree of Life movement. And so I think of it as the tree needs to be watered. And the water, what grows a tree, is your loving intention, your true, genuine intention. Because just wearing it, in my view, is not what causes the magic. It's the magic, you know, what's inside there, and that you really truly have your intention that this is going to be, you're going to use this as a means to free yourself through whatever word you choose in that intention stick. And then I think it makes sense on many levels why this works. And because I'm an airline pilot, I'm an extremely practical person. And if I were to talk about an intention stick to one of my fellow pilots, they would not run out of the cockpit because I'm the captain, to be my FO, but they'd want to. You know, I could just see them squirming in their seats and think, this is
Weirdo.
this is hocus pocus. This is, you know, this is silly, really. And if you have that attitude, it is silly. And you know, if and even the I think therefore I lie technique, which is very heavily intellectual. I mean, it covers all questions, but I've had reviewers who claim to have read the book or at least purchased it, and you write a review on it, and they mention things that I have refuted. For instance, they talk about it being a the fallacy of this philosophy. And I state over and over and over again, this is not a philosophy, this is a technique. But they're not interested in actually having a technique that works. They're interested more in telling themselves that nothing works and and so that they can remain victims, because actually suffering, there's some comfort in suffering, as crazy as that sounds, because what freedom is just plunging into the unknown. That's what unconditional love is. It's the unknowing of what happens. You don't have any expectations. You don't know what's going to come next, and it is true faith in that whatever happens is happening for you and not to you. And I think that it is necessary, or it is beneficial, I would say, not necessary, but very beneficial when it comes to the Tree of Life movement, for pragmatic people like myself to have that understanding that of why this works. And it works with the magic of intention. And I think that's key, and also why it's such a fantastic name, calling it the intention stick. Because if there's no intention, I mean, it's an empty stick. It's just a piece of metal. But if the intention is there, then whatever you're holding will grow through your attention, I think.
It's so beautiful. And, you know, isn't it ironic, Warren, how you're saying that maybe a pilot sitting next to you would think this is woohoo, right?
Yeah.
As you said.
But it's, you know, we see the science behind it.
Yes.
In other words, this is really about physics.
Yeah.
That it's the law of motion, that intention has cause and effect. And then on the reverse, effect goes back to cause. And that it's actually the law of motion, that what we're putting out from our hearts, the intention that we're putting out, we're receiving. Just as Chloe put out faith,
which is still unbelievable.
She received it back.
She did.
Right. Yes.
So how I see it is that this is science, but we don't want to look at that part of science, right?
Right, because it's not black and white just because we can't see it, smell it, touch it.
It's not.
Right?
No, but I mean, that's why I like, I think that quantum physics is a better bridge, because in quantum physics, it would be a good example in quantum physics is that by observing something, just in the act of observing it, you change it. So you can take that to a level of, you know, your intention and then your attention. So your attention is on that, and that will grow, as Maharishi said. And that is you know, that's just something that has been observed in the quantum mechanics, which is the smallest unit of measurement we have. And, you know, and in a very simple way, you could just say that everything is energy. There's no such thing as matter, because when you look down at particles, all it is an expression of energy.
Yes.
That, you know, it cannot, there's nothing that is actual matter. Everything is energy. So we are energy, and if you put your energy on certain aspects of energy, that energy is going to be given the energy that you're giving it, and it's going to grow. It's just very simple logic.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
Also believe. I'm
Yes.
sorry, but I have my own perspective in that. It's like, if you actually believe that this intention stick is going to work, it is going to work. If a person just wears it and thinks it is not going to work, it will not
Yes.
work.
Exactly.
And
It's
who's that
simple.
author of the book? Who's that author you love so much? Bruce
Bruce Lipton.
Bruce Lipton. He wrote
The Power of Belief.
The Power. Was that what he wrote?
Yes.
The Biology of Belief.
Biology. It's
Yes.
right there. It's my
The
favorite.
Biology of Belief, and it's one of her favorite books. And he's a scientist. He's a microbiologist, and he explains on a
You basically make your own world.
right
In a
how
few words.
yes how these what is it not microbes
Cells.
yeah, how cells are, it's not, they get their input from the periphery. So everything around it, it reprograms the proteins according to, so and he shows in a very fascinating way how everything is interconnected. And I want to point out something here, because she kind of apologized, and you might be wondering, well, why is she saying she's sorry? Because the IDL technique, I think what she's trying to say.
I apologize.
Yes, and there's no apology needed, and I want to explain why, and what where she was coming from. The IDL technique works by eliminating all belief in a thought and using thought as a tool. But here's the beauty of it, and people, when they hear that, they kind of they stop right there and say, okay, this isn't for me or whatever. But it is not a philosophy, it is a technique. And the technique itself states that, you know, you look at a thought, any thought, and that thought could be about a technique, whatever it might be about the Tree of Life movement. And the question is not whether it is true, or you can translate true to right or effective or whatever. The question is whether it's beneficial to you at this moment, because what might be beneficial to you right now might not be beneficial to you 5 minutes from now. Therefore, I have the ability and the openness to see the benefit of belief and the beauty in Bruce Lipton's book, the beauty in the Tree of Life movement, and the beauty in what my wife just said. And that's because I'm not bound by a belief that the IDL technique is right or wrong. It's not a right or wrong or correct. It's just a technique. That's all. There's no weight to it. There's no philosophy about it. And that's the nice thing, that it leads to this kind of openness, which can accept things that to a person who is limited might seem that they're opposing. They're not. When you transcend that, there's nothing that opposes. On a superficial level, things might seem different, but in the level where things really matter, they're not.
Wow. Thank you for that. Was such a beautiful explanation, so profound. And yes.
You know, well, it's just that, yeah, we are aligned in that way, except that he wanted to explain why I so believe in this Biology of Belief book, because
and it works for her, just like the Tree of Life works.
Yes.
It's like whatever I want to believe in, it actually, you know, if I want to believe, it manifests itself.
Yes.
If I believe this chair is blue, I will see it as blue. You know, it's my thing. Other people may not, but you know, I may see this chair as blue. So it's just the way it is. It's you know.
how would you share with someone who doesn't really understand that though, um, of what you're sharing to really let go, right? Isn't it like just
It's letting go. It is letting go. It's letting your mind be free, because as an artist, I don't have a certain pattern I follow in life in general. I am very open-minded to a lot of things, and I see things the way that, not the way they are presented to us. Like I may see a book and think of it as maybe inspiration for a painting, or um, I don't know, I may see a bookshelf and turn it into, something else. It's just how my mind works. And what I was saying, if you are asking specifically about the belief thing, I think it's very important that we ourselves have faith in ourselves, as I was wearing that faith thing, because if you are not true to yourself and you do have no love in yourself and you don't believe in yourself, then you cannot believe in others, you cannot help others, and you cannot, be somebody who will influence others in any way. I think that the first thing we should do as people is give ourselves some room to breathe and be, the person we want to be, and not do things. I am big on not doing things that, in quotes, society puts on us that we have to do. For example, now I took a 2-hour nap. I wanted to take a 2-hour nap. I hadn't slept in a week. Why shouldn't I? Somebody else may have called, oh, she's lazy. Oh my God. No, I wanted to take a 2-hour nap. I did it. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's, I think, what we should accept in us. We should stop feeling this guilt of,
Yes.
doing something that's wrong, or there is nothing wrong in being sad, for example. It's okay to cry. There is nothing wrong in being angry. There is nothing wrong, and it's part of our life. It's part of our lifestyle.
We're human.
We can't smile all the time. It's just impossible.
I had a friend the other day who was wearing a t-shirt that said, it's okay to not be okay.
It is. That's exactly my point. In a few words, that's exactly my point. It's okay not to be okay. We don't have to be, because we get all these messages all the time. Be positive, be happy, be this, be that. We cannot be all those things together all the time.
Because if everything was like this, how would we ever grow?
We will not grow. No.
The valleys, again, that's growth.
By human design, we were made to struggle. We were made to go through our struggles. As Scott said, it's part of our evolution. We wouldn't grow if we
Exactly.
didn't
Exactly. And the way each person takes on a struggle and gets over it is different. But that's the way that they will grow in their own way. I mean, sure, there are books like Warren's that may help a lot of people, but some people are, take their own path and just grow on their own.
Well, yeah, one thing is beneficial to one person at a certain time, and that's one of the things I talked about.
Yes.
I think that on the personality level, on the bodily level, on the neurological level, we are not the same. They're infinite, beautiful differences, but all those differences are transitory. They come and go. And so we are not what comes and go. We are what never changes. And and the Buddha had said that, is to put your attention on what never changes. And you can call it God, or you can call it unconditional love. Um, but when you find the thing in your own experience that has never changed since you were at the earliest memories that you have, you've always been aware. You've always had awareness, or it could be that that energy, that what people call the life force, or it could be called unconditional love. And that's why I separate talks about personal development and self-help from so-called spirituality or freedom or being or awakening.
Well, your book
Because
is half science, half. I mean, it's not really self.
no, it isn't. And the point is not self-help.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean self-help is bad. It's awesome. It's awesome to work on your personality, work on your relationships, and all that other stuff. But that all comes and goes, like piano comes and goes. Your skill as a pianist, or playing chess, or whatever it might be that you're interested in, tennis. We reach a peak, and we try to look nice, so we try to look pretty, stay fit and strong, whatever it is. And that's all fun. But when we identify with that stuff, and we think that we are this strong person, or we are this charitable person, or whatever it is, and we take that, then we'll suffer, because that is bound to change, and we're holding on to something that's changing, and that will rip us apart. If you hold on to what never changes, if that's what you identify with, you will not be touched. And yes, you will have feelings of, like she said, sadness. You want to sleep. You'll be happy sometimes. But it's not about having a permanent smile on your face. It's much, much deeper.
I think it's what he's trying to say is the art of letting go, just letting go.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In a few words, he's just trying to say, just let go.
Yes, the be, let it be. Exactly.
Yes.
Right? Just be, because everything right now at this moment is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And one, as we all know, we can't change our past. So why are we going to go back and focus on good? We're not in charge, or we have no idea what tomorrow brings. So why are we worrying about that? Or we say, what makes God laugh? But we're not in charge of tomorrow. So exactly, we are being present, we're being in the now, and we're celebrating that moment in life. And it's perfect. And that is so beautiful, both of you, how you just explained it. Chloe, simply, Warren, just in such a beautiful dynamic of, wow, because I love your mind. And then just the simplicity of Chloe saying, just letting go, right? Surrendering and trust the journey, because everything is always working out for us. But
it always does in the end.
Build it up into our minds that it's not going to work out, or oh my goodness, there's anxiety and there's stress and they're mad and they're happy. And we have so much of this going on that we don't even know what's upside down or right side up, or we create those modes.
Our mind has great powers. It does.
And I just want to go back to a question that was asked, that about why belief works. And Chloe told us her perspective about it. But I'd like to say that Bruce Lipton does a magnificent job of explaining from a scientific perspective of why the biology of belief, how it actually, what you are believing transforms the form that through which the energy is expressed.
In a
this
nutshell, because I've read that book like 2,000 times. I have it right there. I can show it to you. It's like our bodies are like little universes. The cells work together like the planets, like we are part of the universe. We work together. when there's a country that's at war, it's like a country that has cancer. The universe has cancer at that particular point. Our cells are the same. It's hard to explain, but our cells work like in a way together that this body is kind of like a little universe. And we have little armies of cells working to do particular jobs. And if one of them goes wrong, then that's when the person gets sick, right? So, what he says basically is to keep yourselves happy, to put it, keep yourselves happy in a simplistic way, so to say. I mean, um, how should I put it? Well, let's say if you exercise every day, or maybe give yourself something that will make you really happy, like a huge ice cream or something. That will make you feel good, and that will give yourself something that will make the cells work better. I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain
But
because it's
scientifically, it's very simple the way he explains it.
how I can't
People,
explain
yes,
it.
but I can.
It's very
If
difficult.
this is a cell,
Yeah.
it's bottle cap, and it's not a beer bottle, it's root beer. Their old belief used to be that the nucleus of the cell controlled everything. That's not the case. It's actually the periphery that gets the inputs from all the other cells that reprogram the proteins. It actually reprograms your DNA in this cell, and he talks about the proteins, and it's something, I'm not a microbiologist, but I could understand it very well. Basically, the environment is what creates creates the change within the cell. And we're made out of trillions of cells, and all these cells interact with each other and with the environment. We're not separate from the environment. The air we breathe, certainly not the food or water we drink. All these things have an effect. The thinking process produces chemicals, which send out messages to all the cells, and in order to adapt, because that's what they do, to the energy that they're getting, the vibe that they're getting, but they adjust according to that energy, according to the chemicals that the brain produces, and they adapt. So if you are constantly putting your attention on negative thoughts, if you're a pessimist, so you are attracted to that kind of thing because it gives you a sense of security and that you know what's going to happen, because you can always count on things going wrong, not realizing you're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly.
But now you're right, because, oh yeah, see, I told you it would go wrong, not realizing that you're the one who's made it go wrong. And then you actually are changing your physiology at a cellular level by doing that. And that's the reason I give that example is because a lot of people have lived that experience. A lot of people have been. Society teaches us to trust negative thoughts and to trust in negativity. We're not taught to think in terms of belief or love or giving or any of those words that can be found in the intention state, and you can put in the intention state, and those have a even more powerful effect on us when we use them. They transform us in a way. And why is it more powerful? Because we are used to this negativity. And so when we switch, the contrast is so great that we see it as a miracle. It's not a miracle, really. It's just a normal way of living. But we've been sick and thinking the other way, that to us it appears like a miracle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so beautiful. And yes, what a beautiful explanation, so someone can actually understand that. And again, one of the beautiful quotes, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change.
Yes.
And when we can understand we have the ability to heal our own bodies from the inside out,
Of
to send the thoughts, the loves, as you just explained with that root beer bottle cap, that the energy that we continue to send to ourselves can physically heal all pain and sickness. It's our minds that stop us from that.
Yeah.
To say, no, we can't, you can't do that. That's the woo woo. That's hocus pocus. We need doctor. I'm not saying don't go to
Or
a
even the
doctor, but
self-sabotaging
the
thoughts, which is I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I can't
yes.
do it, I'm not pretty.
So when I
Right?
have
You
pain, I'm
start
just sharing
believing
this
that.
with people, and it may sound interesting, but if I have pain in my knee or my stomach or my shoulder, I literally, or chest, I'll hold my hand over that area and
Mhm.
send love and healing and thank you for working so hard. And just again, the power of our mind, the power of intention, but believing that, again, faith that we will heal, faith that we know we'll get through this, faith that a better day is coming, faith that I am going to receive my new schooling versus thousands of other. It's so beautiful, and this world forgot to have faith, but to
Yeah.
also
And in the IDL technique and in the book, I do make a big distinction between the way the IDL technique treats the word faith and the way it treats belief, because a lot of religious people will equate the two. And with the IDL technique, there is a distinction. Belief is something that is created out of reasoning, whereas faith transcends reason. So you don't say, I'm going to take a leap of belief. It's a leap of faith, because the leap is that there is no reasoning process that comes in there, and that is really essential, because when you are free, you do live in that faith of trusting the moment. And I right now the battery's going at 10%. I'm going to take 1 minute and run and bring a charger, and Chloe will be here. Just 1 second.
I was gonna say there's no room for doubt in faith, right?
No, there isn't. And that's why I love that word so much.
yeah,
I was wearing that word for a long time because I really wanted certain things in my life to happen. And I think that if we believe in ourselves and we believe that they will happen, they will. They certainly will. I mean, we just have to have faith, as we said.
yes, and
And,
we're
you
witnessing
know, it's the way it is. Our bodies are like little machines, little universes. And the more love we give, as you said, you put your hand in where it hurts, it will go away because you give it love. That's
yes.
the way it is.
Chloe, so beautiful that, again, which Marla and I talk about every day, we forget to take care of ourselves, the self-love,
Yeah.
self-needs, the kindness, the to hug ourselves and say, I love you. The again, as Warren was saying earlier, the unconditional love for yourself, that I am worthy, I do matter, I do have purpose, I am handsome, I am pretty, I am brilliant, the all the beautiful I ams that we are. And filling ourselves up and repairing our own vessels.
And
Because
the important thing with that, with what you said, is I I am totally on board with that, and that's basically what I think too. Is that we we have to love ourselves when we're not perfect,
yes,
not when we're succeeding, and we have to love ourselves when we're down, when we're imperfect, when we make mistakes. I
yes,
mean, that's where the hard part is.
but that's
To
all unconditional love.
unconditional love, exactly.
But it's only your thinking that says that you're imperfect.
Yeah.
Right. And
Or the people that have told you that your whole life, and stop listening to the negativity out
Right.
there and cut that off, whether it's media or friends or workers that suck the light and love out of you. It's
Yeah.
time to disconnect, and surround yourselves with the people that make you the best version of who you are, that inspire you, that uplift you, that always are there to support you no matter what. And that's that light and that love that this is all about. This is what the Tree of Life and the movement was
Yeah.
brought here to do, is to let everyone know we're all here for one another, to see everyone the same, to know we're going to get through this together, because it is about us collectively. As you said, Chloe and Warren, we are a part of this universe. We're all working together. We already are one. Again, we just forgot. All of the distractions have gotten in the way. And it's time, Chloe, to find that faith, because that was the whole essence of this conversation.
Well, yeah.
Even if, again, we reach just one person this evening from this conversation, that's been beautiful. Find your faith. Have that faith.
And in the sadness, what I was going to say, because Chloe mentioned, you know, it's okay to be sad.
Absolutely.
Right? It's okay to go take that nap. It is okay, because
Of course it's
we
okay.
should embrace the sadness, just as we embrace the happiness and the joy and the love and the gratitude.
And that's, few people see that. I mean, they think they have to be positive all the time. You don't have to. I mean, it's okay to let yourself cry sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes our body needs it.
it's rejection of what is. If sadness is something that arises and you're rejecting it, then you're resisting what is. It's like, this should not be this way. And in a way, you're saying, telling God or the universe or whatever you want to call it, doesn't know what it's doing, because you know better. I should be happy now and I'm not, and therefore something's wrong with this.
But what happens is in embracing, right, the present moment of maybe feeling, as we're talking about, sadness, then through the sadness you say, I don't like this feeling. Why am I feeling this way? And through the sadness, it shows you what you do want, to get you out of what you don't want.
Exactly. You think of the moment, you think of yourself crying, and the thing is that you don't think of the past or the future. You just are in the moment of crying.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the only way you can kind of, you know, maybe get yourself out of it. Not think of the past of what made you cry.
Yes. Oh.
Because that's not going to work.
Yeah, you're being with it. You're being present with the crying.
And being in the now.
Yes.
Being in the present with the crying,
Yes.
or present with the anger.
And being
you know?
loving to what is, loving that moment and letting it be, as you said.
And by the way, we are loving this conversation, and we don't want it to end, but we have to sign off, even though one way too long. And I think the next version is that how we talked about, I'm just sharing, talk about manifesting when you were in the office with Jonas and Azocina and the beautiful people from the UK. And I said to everyone, we need to go to Israel. And sure enough, we went to Israel and we spoke with all of our brothers and sisters, a Jewish person, a Christian person, a Muslim person, man, white, black. We stood as one. And I'm just leaving on this high note that this world doesn't realize we're all brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
All the same. Stop with the color, the race, the religion, the politics. It's all fear-based and it's all programming. And just remember, we're all one, and we've just been programmed to think someone is better than someone else because of those things.
Yes.
And not. It is the furthest from the truth. So that will be our next date. So
oh my God, that is a big subject. That is, yeah.
Yes.
Talk to you guys again. It's been too long, and
we know you're going to find your intentions.
Oh, heck
yes,
yeah.
we will. We definitely
I
will.
always
We have the
find
intention
things
for
I
that.
lose. Yeah, because there's an intention to find it.
When the COVID thing ends, we're getting together for hugs.
Perfect.
Just celebration, because
No masks.
Masks.
No masks. Of any kind. Of any kind.
Of any kind.
Authenticity.
Right.
Well, you already know our sign off, so we're sending you.
Okay.
Lots of love to you.
Lots of love.
Yes, blessings and intentions of gratitude, light, and love. We love you, we honor you, and we're so blessed to call you family. And thank you for sharing this with tonight. It was
Thank you. Thank
we're
you
so
for this
filled up with
beautiful
your beautiful both of
opportunity.
your words. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Too.
All right.
Abby,
Love you.
Okay.
Bye.
I'll go.